I'm Scott Bradford with the Indiana State School Music Association. I'm the Choral Education Director. What I'm going to show you is how to use multiple devices and using the HeartOut platform for adjudicating. As you can see, there's many types of technology. We want to first thank you for being a judge and thank you for giving us your time and your expertise. But we also want to make it enjoyable. And how to do that is kind of relieve some of the stress by what devices you need to have and what you need to set up ahead of time. That's kind of a key. A lot of what I'll be talking about you can do before you get your credentials and actually log into the HeartOut platform. You can test your devices, test your internet, and be a little bit more settled about the actual adjudicating process before you start. So let's do it this way. For you kinesthetic learners, we're going to do some hands-on. For you procrastinators, watch the video all the way through and do it before the event. And for you people that are technology insecure, this is for you as well. We hope that you get something from it, and again, we thank you. Okay, first off, practice in the location you'll be adjudicating. Such as if I'm in the office right now, if I practice all this technology in my Wi-Fi here at this spot, and then I go home to do it, all of the connections, all of the ideas of feed and speed and all that change. You could have some problems. So do this in the location of where you'll be adjudicating. Next thing to consider is your credentials. I mentioned you can do this ahead of time. HeartOut will send you adjudication credentials, which is a unique password that has plus juror in your username and a group of lettering to actual log in. But you won't have to have that right now. You will when you actually log into the platform to test some of the features of the adjudication sheets, etc. We'll get to that. Devices. First off, if you're old school, we're sending you adjudication sheets. We're giving you PDF pieces of music digitally that you could copy, and we're also giving you instructions. If you have these instructions on the HeartOut platform that we've created, you're welcome to use these because that's basically the outline that I'll be following. It gives you an idea of how to walk through this on your system. The other aspect, as I mentioned, is how to manipulate a particular device, whether it's a PC, iOS, Android, etc. Okay, let's get started. So this could be a help to you as a review. You are welcome to make a choice. If I'm going to judge on my main PC computer, I can pull up the HeartOut platform here, and I can have a printed copy of the adjudication sheet where I can write on it. You have to, and you will be putting your scores in on a computer and typing them in electronically, as well as your feedback. But the choice comes of how many devices you use and where you use each device as far as aligning video viewing, music review to reference the measure numbers and make the comments, and lastly, how you're going to put in your feedback. So simply put, you have a couple of options. Okay, you want to make sure your devices are well charged and all updates are taken care of. You'll notice on this Mac screen that I've got up here, the Mac screen has a pop-up. It continually pops up and I never know what to do with it. And then I've got other applications open. I recommend closing those applications and get to what you particularly need, which is a server. All right? We recommend that you use Safari or Chrome. We found out that Firefox is not a good device to use or a web browser to use because there's disagreement between the HeartOut platform and that browser. So Safari for a Mac and Chrome for a PC is our preference and recommendation. So once you've opened a browser, you're going to go to Google and you type in HeartOut.io. Once you've done that, you'll come up with HeartOut Live Music Auditions. You click on it and it takes you right to where you have to log in. And later on, it takes you right to this screen for login. All right? I also have an Android device that has different tabs and ways of using it. This can be done in portrait view or in landscape. And over here, we'll get to it. I have a Surface, which is the PC version of an iPad. Again, you'll see that you can use it for music, for video, or scoring. That goes back to the choices. So let me state that again. You are able to judge and do everything on one device if that fits your comfort level. You also can use your phone if that's your comfort level. A lot of people today do everything by phone, but there's limitations, one of which is size. Okay? Here we go. let's get started and say my preference is to use my screen. I already have up here the HeartOut instructions digitally produced that I showed you earlier. I'm not going to use that because I prefer a paper copy, so I'm just going to get rid of that by minimizing. I open a tab, as I mentioned when I was showing the Mac, and I go to Google and I type in HeartOut. Or, well, there you go, spelling. Not a perfect demonstration by any means. And there's HeartOut.io. That takes me nowhere. You want to make sure you put HeartOut as all one word. Again, spelling is wonderful. .io. Then it will take you right to where you need to be to log in. The login is in the upper right-hand corner. And other useful devices, if throughout the day you're adjudicating and you have a technical issue with the platform or some of the videos, you're welcome to contact us, but the easiest way is to use this chat. This chat here will open up a conversation between you and HeartOut staff. This chat is a live chat, of course online, but that means there'll be a conversation. So you won't be waiting for a response in email. You'll have to communicate through typing and creating text there. They also have an info at HeartOut. Let's say you have a question that doesn't need immediate response. You can send an email to info@heartout.io by clicking this icon. It'll come up through your email system and you type what questions you have. Then you'll have to go back and check for that email response. It won't show up on the screen. You'll have to go to your email. The reason I suggest this is you could be adjudicating an oboe solo. And you get all the way through that solo, take a break, take a drink of water, check your email, and you go, all right, that alto sax solo that I had problems with, the answer's now in my email. So these are helpful devices throughout the day and helpful, if you will, tech helps throughout the day as you're judging. When you go to log in, you put in the credentials that they gave you. Again, those credentials will come in an email from HeartOut. It will not be your traditional email because in the middle we'll have +juror. And then for the password, a scrambled of usually uppercase letterings. Once you're in, you will see this sign contest. A sign contest equal to us events for ISSMA. Then once you hit, let's go to the oboe solo that I mentioned. You hit open on the right-hand side, and it takes you to a separate screen. It shows you the code, which gives the date of the event, and this was the past one. Yours will be December 5th. It gives you answers to questions that the user puts in, which includes their name or ensemble name, the title of the composition you'll be viewing, the school, and also composer-arranger. So these tiles, which you'll see here, Tama Ponkar was our oboe soloist. This is a test. We have her as Thompson Road School. If that were listed as a high school, you'll know you'll be adjudicating a high school level performance. If it says Thompson Road Junior High School, that's a junior high performance. There's no other place in your adjudication process where you can distinguish between those two levels. The levels that are listed are beginning, intermediate, and advanced. That's where you adjust the tolerance on your rubric, just as you would for group levels in the traditional solo and ensemble arena. You're also, and here's where it says intermediate school. So that's what I was referring to as far as level. The media ID code is a unique ID code given to each performer in each event, so we can attach the corresponding music, you know what video you're supposed to be watching, and all the assessment goes to the right place. A little helpful hint is click on the top of the name, the top of the icon. If you click here in the middle, nothing happens. If you take your mouse, or in a tablet situation, your finger, click on the name, the top. Okay, a little bit slow internet speed. While I'm talking about internet speed, as you can see, Tama has lost a little hair. While I'm talking about internet speed is not the same as Wi-Fi connection. When you go to your devices and you see those bands, such as on your phone or at the bottom of the tablet, internet connection is different. It shows you like the bands of a phone. That shows you the strength of the signal. Since these are videos in larger files, you'll need to check your internet speed. How do you do that without an app? Play the video. If it works, you're fine. You want to make sure there's no drag or lag. So once you're into the HeartOut application and you get those credentials, play the video. See how long it takes to buffer. Ode to Joy. You'll see also there's a pause. You're welcome to pause the video, but our suggestion is act like this is a real live performance. Take the performance all the way through. Go through the impression, the analysis, and the comparison stages of adjudicating. And then if you need to go back and go, gosh, measure 11, did they make that first entrance correctly? Was that continuous? Was that frequent flaw or a major and minor flaw? You can use the rubric that's also in this platform to help you decide that and use the video as a tool. This video has all the other controls like other videos. You can enlarge it to full screen. I'm a little afraid of this. Oh good, it tells me. I can watch the video on this computer, full screen, sit back like I'm watching a home theater production. And then I can use my tablet or Surface or phone, the other device, if as soon as I find the button on here, because I'm used to the pad. Absolutely real, right? I'm going to put this on real quick, because I'm used to using this here and the Surface here, this way. There we go. So you can use this for your music. Here I have a piece of Ave Maria. If I want to use the tablet as my music device, I have that option. Okay, so here I'm adjudicating. I have the video all ready for me to observe. I have it in full screen mode. If I'm old school and want paper and pencil, I have the copy of the score sheet or adjudication sheet. I can write my my points and my thoughts on here in little notes to myself, and later go back and put it in the computer and move this screenshot of the music I'm observing closer to my area. Again, those are the choices. Or you can do it again on one device. If I want to do it on one device, and we'll talk about this later, that means taking the music from Dropbox and splitting the screen. I'm going to go back to the HeartOut platform. You'll see there's the video again, and one really cool feature of the video is a floating video. If you're using the device as one screen, you click on it, drag it, and let loose of the mouse or your finger, whichever device you're using, so that you have the video. How is that helpful? It is a frozen pane within this particular screen. You'll see the media ID code is listed, the school, the event, everything's there for you. And now the video is free for me to move around once I see that hand. So let's say I'm going to observe the score sheet. I choose not to use the printed copy, but I want to do that here as I'm watching the video. Intonation, okay? You can type in your comments. Opening entrance. That's a reminder to me to go back later and make full sentences and be very clear, because with this, you have more time. You can check what you're writing, observe that, and use the sheet from left to right, just as we teach you in the adjudication process. You'll see you have the categories and descriptors. Consider resonance, clarity, control, focus, and consistency. And all the aspects of the performance, to the stance and everything involved in each of the categories, including other factors. If I'm done with this video, I can hit this X to delete it. It doesn't take the video away, it moves that floating video icon or image out of the way so that you can get your adjudication done. Another aspect that HeartOut has created and customized for us is a drop-down. This is your rubric or score sheet. Once you've listened to the performance, take the descriptors, put in your special and unique comments and remarks, then you have to evaluate the rubric. This is where you look at the beginning, intermediate, and advanced levels. This is where you consider, was it junior high or high school? This is where you consider what's going on. This is a virtual performance with schools that are going 100% virtual, learning environments that have changed, following breaks and holidays, communication between directors. We're asking you to be encouraging, being their second voice to encourage growth, but also understand that the fact that we're going virtual is a different and unique opportunity for these kids. They're excited to perform for you. you make sure the feedback is student-centered and is valuable to where they are right now with the conditions and restrictions they have. Each category, just with your sheet, must have a point value. Each box should be filled. Once you start typing here, this can go on forever. And in other words, it will expand with you. You are not limited to how much you write. Then as you pull down, just like at the bottom of the sheet or the back of a real adjudication sheet, you'll see the suggestions for improvement. That scrolling I'm doing on this PC is with a mouse. You can do it on other devices with your finger or with your pad, which we'll get to. Infractions for the fall assessments we do not use. For the Virtual Solo and Ensemble district events coming up, we will use these infractions. If they are not measuring the numbers, if they aren't using the correct piece. For the fall assessments, we're being a little more lenient so that they have the opportunity in a home setting to do some kind of music, to get out there and perform. So there is some more, as I said, some leniency in that area. So you must know which event you're adjudicating for. In the suggestions for improvement, put your comments for suggestions, comments to go forward. Pick about 2 of those things that you'd like to say that you think are very vital for that student's next steps. Remember to keep it student-centered. The score sheet will automatically pick out the rating. Right now I don't have all the points in, but let's say it was a 12. That 12 then would give gold, silver, bronze, or participation, depending on the numbering you have assigned by the rubric. We ask you to let the rubric satisfy the rating, but again, remember tolerance for this type of event. One thing at the bottom that a lot of adjudicators have asked is save feedback may be called upload and finish. HeartOut is updating this so that you know that you're done. Once you click this, it will change colors. Now, notice it didn't let me because I wasn't done with the sheet, but when you're finalizing the sheet at the very end of this particular solo or ensemble, this will change to more of a brownish taupe color, which means you're done. You would then go back to the next performance. You can go up here if you have more oboe solos, or you can go back to contest, or you can hit your back browser. I recommend using these quick tabs here. Remember, we only had 1 oboe solo. If I go back, you're going to see that. I call these performance tiles, and they're similar to the label you see on the traditional adjudication sheet. It has the information for the event. It also has a media ID code, which I've mentioned several times, that we're hoping that in their music and in this tile, it will all match. So since I don't have any others, I could search by a different media ID code and pull up a different event if you have the media ID code. But more importantly, I can go back to the active contests. So let's say now I have a flute trio, and that's the next item I want to judge. We recommend that you look at all the tiles and go from beginner to intermediate, then to advanced, but you don't have to. Such as in this one, this flute ensemble is a flute trio beginner. Clicked on the top, and it takes me to the next event, the next solo or ensemble to adjudicate. Same process, you have the ability to watch it on the screen here, scrolling down to the score sheet, and finalizing the sheet as normal. You do not have to put your name in here. Some adjudicators choose to sign their name by putting it in the suggestions for improvement box. What will go to the directors and the students will already have your name on the director's screen along with the feedback. So it is not necessary that you type your name, but of course you're welcome to. It will appear. So that's really the process for adjudicating on a single device, but how do you get the music? I'm going to show you that now because the music is coming through Dropbox. Dropbox is basically sent through an email at ISSMA. And to do that, I think I'm going to show you that on this device. Let's try this one. Yes. All right. So if the camera can zoom in here, I was sent an email from ISSMA assigning me to a Dropbox because I'm not a current teacher in the education system. So there's a difference. If you're a teacher and you're participating in ISSMA events, you already have a Dropbox assigned to you for our events where you normally see the recorded commentary and get feedback for your students and your ensembles and organizations. You would have to log into Dropbox.com. If you're in that situation, such as this test case, you're going to see judge.bradford, which is my last name. I hit the Go To folder, and it will take me right to that assigned Dropbox folder. You'll see now, and I'm on a PC, like an iPad, I can enlarge it. So that's a helpful tool to remember if you're choosing to observe the music. Once you're inside the Dropbox, Dropbox.com, that would be a password and username that you've assigned, but it was an invitation through our office when you set up that particular account. If you need help with that, let us know. We'll get you into that or send you out a resend invitation to get you to that folder. So again, you're going to see a PDF Judge folder. Check that ahead of time. Let us know if it doesn't work, if you don't see music. So I put a couple of pieces in there. Notice this time I used my finger. I tapped that to open up the folder. And I have 2 PDFs. What do those numbers mean? Well, it doesn't mean Ave Maria. That is the media ID code that will match the corresponding video that I'm going to use either on a separate device or on the same device. So you can see that it opens up into the alto sax folder. So going back to those devices, if I choose to use 2 devices, I would move this closer to my screen, have the music set up on my tablet, I would set up in portrait, and then I would go back to HeartOut, pull up the ensemble for the flute, trio, or solo, alto, and I don't particularly have that here, but let's pretend that it's a drum set. You go and you align the correct ID code with the music you have. Okay, so once you're in that, directors were supposed to have measures numbered. If they don't, there's no penalty for the fall assessments. If they do, bravo. Refer to them in your specific comments. You can scroll through the music as you're listening. On the first attempt, you can watch the music and you can listen to the recording. If you want to play the video again and see what their demeanor was, their performance etiquette, things like that, you're welcome to play it again. You make the choice to what best suits your judging style. All right? If you want a third device, you could also use your phone. Right now, some of your heads just exploded. Because the phone, Safari or whatnot, you're welcome to log into HeartOut. You can see that I have this on my phone. I can go into the oboe solos, the barbershop quartets, anything that I'm assigned as a judge. You say, why a third device? Because there's 3 things you'll need to complete the adjudication. The video you're observing, the music you're referring to, and the scoring device or electronic score sheet within the HeartOut platform that does exist in the same place as the video, if you remember the floating video. So I'm choosing not to use my phone because it's too small, and I'm old enough where that doesn't give me comfort. But the unique, cool part about an iPhone, and also I believe an Android, is that you have a chat. This time a chat little icon. When you open that chat icon, it opens right up to a conversation. Hello there, need help? This is HeartOut. You can type in what you need. You may not need this throughout your entire presentation, but if you do, it's there. On my phone, the iPhone, I can hit the back browser with that little arrow at the bottom, and it takes me back and forth. So once I've opened up a particular, what they call contest, and then an audition, which is again equal to our events, I can always hit that little back arrow. Remember, if you expand, the arrows don't show up. You have to minimize it to get those arrows to show back up to change to the next event. I'm going to have Mark show you a little bit of difference in manipulating an Android phone before we show you how to split the screen. Why split a screen? 2 reasons. You could adjudicate all on one device, which is what I'll finish with. Or if technology fails, one of your devices decides to update in the middle of your audition, Don't panic because you could stop the video. But you do have the option of switching devices from the start or anytime there's a problem. We don't care what devices you use. That's up to you and your comfort. Mark, if you would show them the Android and how to log in on the internet, as well as get to the HeartOut platform. All right, Mark has up his Android phone. He's got apps, as you can see, and he's going to hit his home button, or Safari is, I think, his web browser of choice.
Chrome.
Chrome. I even looked at it wrong.
So I would go to Google and I would type in again the HeartOut.io address, and I've already got it saved here, so I would go on there, and here is the HeartOut home screen again. I would go to Login, and then I would put in the username and the password. And I'll go to this other screen because I've already done that, and then I will log in. Perfect, it says invalid.
You're just making me look good, aren't you, Mark?
Scott plus juror.
Let's see if it comes up. Nope. Okay, so this is where if you're having technical issues with your phone, you can spend 10 minutes, give us a phone call, send a chat to HeartOut, or you can switch to a different device. Okay, so we're going to assume that we're into this because you don't need to watch us struggle. We're trying to give you less anxiety. Mark, would you show them how to switch between devices? Let's say they want to get their music, and you can switch your screen or your applications by hitting the home button to get to a different page. So most of you know how to use your phone fairly well. Let's say he's going to go to Dropbox. He may have a Dropbox icon. He may have to go to the internet to get that. But this device with internet capabilities have all the access to the HeartOut platform or the Dropbox.com folder that we've given you through email.
And there is my Dropbox, so I would enter my Dropbox information, sign in, and I could access it there. What I have available is in my web browser. You can call up as many different tabs as you want, so you can switch back and forth between the HeartOut app and Dropbox if you need to on your phone then.
Would you go back to the HeartOut screen and show them the landscape version?
Yep.
It won't rotate today?
It won't rotate.
Okay, you gotta release that on several of your phones, and that's in the settings. But you saw it over there with my Surface tablet. It may help you to do the landscape view so that you see more. That again is a preference. All right?
Here.
Ta-da! And you can see at the bottom right screen his icon for the chat, which goes directly to HeartOut. Again, it won't answer questions on adjudication. It will answer the technical aspects. All right, thank you, Mark. I'm going to ask the camera now to go back to my main computer. As a review, we've talked several times about the three pieces of adjudication: the video, the music, and the scoring system. We've also talked about the choice is yours of how you do it. Whether you do homeschool, combination of computer and writing, but eventually the scoring must be put into the computer, and you hit that upload and finish button. To make your job easier, to make your life easier, if you're like me, you like everything at hand, you don't want to fool with multiple devices, you can do everything in one computer setting. For you procrastinators, for you hands-on people, I would still stay and watch this portion of the video because you may need this if something happens with technology. Technology will fail, it can fail, but you, again, in this setting, they're not going in and out of your room every 5 minutes, so you have a little bit of time to fix those problems. This is on how to split a screen. So I've told you about logging into HeartOut.io, and we've shown you that we're now into a drummer. We see the media ID code number, we have the option of the floating video, and all of those things. But here's the score sheet. So I can open several devices, or I can take different windows. When you go to any of the browsers, if you right mouse click, I'm on the PC, it says new window. If I want to create a separate window, I click and it covers my screen. This is where many people panic. Did I just log out of HeartOut? Where'd my music go? So this is the comfort part of the screen for technology insecure people. These restore sizes up and down or minimize, which swipes it away. Whoosh, totally swipes it away, takes you back to another screen. So when you go down to this icon at the bottom of the screen, it shows you what tabs are open. As Mark showed you with his Android, as I can show you with this tablet here in a moment, there's many applications that are open in Windows. Different devices show them different ways. These are more like window tiles and show it in a series. Once I've chosen the application I want, I can use it and be done. I can set it aside. So maybe this is my video viewing that I choose to do as I score on my computer. So let's make that choice. I'm going to do Barbershop Quartet because I am a barbershopper. Let's say there is one. Yay, barbershop singers. Okay, so my barbershop singers, there's the score sheet, there's the video. I believe this is main stage, our international champs. But here we go. I can enlarge the video, move it around. It's going to buffer, of course, but I don't see my pause and play. So to do... Oops, I did it again. That's right. I would have to increase my volume to hear it. I can choose to put in earbuds, whatever makes you comfortable. But you don't have, with the enlargement, your video controls. In other words, if you're playing it all the way through, that's great. If it started before you were ready, like mine did, I would have to shrink it again to get my video controls to start and stop. So that's an option for you. All right, so now I have to find my music. Dropbox I'm logged into. When you log into it, or if you're looking for your Dropbox, as I mentioned, mine was judge.lastname. It may just be a folder, inside your Dropbox account that says PDF Judge. You click on that folder, you see the music. Let's say the barbershop music today is going to be a minuet. I don't think Bye Bye and Blackbird and Minuet fit, but we'll pretend. The media ID code is showing at the top. I check it with the media ID code that is inside HeartOut platform. Once I've decided that it is correct, and we're going to pretend that it is, I've got my video set up, I've got my music set up, but where's my scoring? You can click between these tabs. You don't have to split your screen. You can open a new window and just go between tabs. So let's say this is my scoring sheet. And I don't know if the barbershop one's going to show up here because I'm in a different area, but let's go to a scoring sheet. This is what I recommend because I'm comfortable with it. You can jump between tabs on any device. Open windows. Okay, in this PC it appears as tabs. So right now I have my scoring sheet here in the second one from the left. I have my video in the middle, and I have my music there. If you don't want to do those synchronous or simultaneously, you can leave them all in those tabs. Play the video, let it play over your PC, and go to the music. A jazz version of Minuet. I can listen, take in, and observe. Wait, I didn't like the attacks he was doing on the articulation with his sticking. Please pay attention to your sticking measure 11. Careful of tempo. I'm listening. I go down to tempi, which is an interpretation. Nice work, but watch the tempo changes. I'm going to turn my volume down a moment so you can hear me. Okay, so you can go and do some reminders of your scoring by using these open windows. Or you don't have to. One way, one device. If I stick with the two devices, that was too much. The volume I couldn't control, that gave me great angst. Okay, I'm going to watch my video here, and I'm going to watch my music on this machine. Again, I've not done any split screen. I'm using windows or tabbed areas to toggle between what I want to see and hear. So I play the video from this and listen to the music. Then I have to go back to that tab to put in my scoring. Remember, every category will need a point from the drop down and then must be clicked and finalized. So here's another solo, and then again saved at the end. If I want to judge using a split screen, I find it pretty helpful. You take that window. Let me do that again. Go up to the tabs, click on it with your arrow or mouse or finger, press on it and hold, drag. When you open this up, just as mine just did, it went to several things. I've got all this open here I don't like. I can close this out. It gives me a bigger screen. But where's my score sheet? Again, that panic moment. I've got my video, but where's my score sheet? I can click the tab and do my scoring, or I can drag and drop. And what I mean by that is, again, now that you see it, you can drag it. If I drag it off, some computers, some devices automatically minimize. Others do not. So you have to go to this, what I call multiple window area, and it sizes that for you. Do you see how that did that? That square rectangle, or this one here that has multiple. It's layered, it says restore. Okay, drag, slide, and position. You can resize. If you don't do the same thing to your other window, look what happens. Let's say I go to type. The music's gone. That flusters a few people. But you can always tab back to whatever window you want, or if it's a new window, such as my music, go down to that Safari icon, and it opens up. My recommendation is drag and drop and split the screen twice. Pull this off, pull it to the left. Go down and change the size and minimize it or change the sizing, and go back to finding the other window you want to use, which this case is my Dropbox music, and put them side by side. What is the benefit of this? Notice I'm sizing by clicking the edge. Once I get a window, that was the wrong thing. There you go. I see that arrow, which allows me to shrink and expand the music. If you have a device, it may be with your hand, and if you're on a device that allows contracting and expanding by opening and spreading, that will happen as well. The reason I like this split screen is it doesn't take away when I'm scoring. Now I can type in. Now I can scroll through. Now I can put my points. And I still have the music that once I click on that particular window and scroll up or down, or move with my finger if I'm on that device, I have the ability to manipulate this without changing. Once this is set up, you're ready. The last hint or reminder is use the back browser, because if you hit this minimization, it takes it off your screen. You'd have to go back and find it. If you hit this minimizing or maximizing or sizing, it's going to change it from full to large. If you hit this X, it closes out. So you want to always use your back browser to go to the next piece of music. There's the minuet. Here's my Bugler's Holiday or whatever's next, okay? My alto sax. Same thing here. If you hit the X, it's taking you out of the HeartOut application. If you use either of these or the X, they will change what you have set up. So once you've set up your split screen, the back browser becomes your friend. You can search, you can go to the back contest, pull up the next oboe solo, which really is alto sax, open up the video, and begin your next assessment. I hope some of the technology things we brought to you help relax you and help prepare you for the day. Because what's going to be fun is seeing the students. They're excited to perform for you. They actually get to present their skills and what they're doing in their classroom or at home. And they have an opportunity, as one of the kids said, to feel real again. And that's pretty cool. If you have any questions, let us know. If you have technology questions, please do that prior to the event day. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks for giving us your time and your expertise.